Hello everybody, this is it. This is the game that had me drooling when I first bought it back in 97, I believe. I was in the Navy, had a PlayStation 1 on my ship that I served on. We had a little room that we worked on equipment up in the front of the ship. And I remember going out and buying this game. Wasn't really a race car racing game fan, but I knew this game looked really good. And I went out and bought this game, brought it back to my ship, and we always had like 6-8 guys up in that equipment room on our destroyer battleship for like, oh man, especially that first year, but even like 2-3 years after that, always people playing good old Gran Turismo. And I cannot tell you guys, at the time on the PlayStation 1, when this game launched, it wasn't only me. I mean, this game made people's mouths drop. They absolutely could not believe how good these graphics right here you're looking at are. I mean, these graphics blew people the hell away. Nobody had seen anything like this at that time. And people were just blown away by this game. And not only that, not only did it have mind-boggling graphics for that time, the game was fun as hell. And yeah, we loved the hell out of Gran Turismo, and there was always guys up in that ship, especially out at sea, playing Gran Turismo all the time. Some people would be working, you know, and other people would be up there, hey man, can we go play Gran Turismo? And you'd give them the keys to their face, and they'd be up there playing the heck out of Gran Turismo. Now I remember by far our favorite track on Gran Turismo was the mountain track. And God, I remember how much fun it was to play other people online. That's all we did. I mean, I think we might have done like the licenses and stuff like that, but mostly it was just head-to-head, you know, battles for 2 players, and then whoever lost, you know, would have to give up their controller to the next guy waiting in line. But right there, that track right there, the mountain track, that was the one that we always played. And man, going around those curves, it was always so much fun, especially if you were like a little bit behind the person in front of you. You give it max speed as you head into that real tight turn, just like that. And you'd always go into a skid, but you would bounce off. What I would do is I'd bounce off the guy in front of me as I sped up. I'd bounce off, knock him over into the sand, or you know, the off-road, and then his bouncing off him would keep me on the road. And that was a very, very effective tactic for playing other people online. Just get a little bit behind him and then speed up max speed. You definitely go into a skid, but then as you skid, you would knock them off the road. And not only that, would that piss them off, it would be good for a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. And I can remember some really, really good battles in Gran Turismo. I'd say at that time, even though I had been gaming since the early 80s, at that time, Gran Turismo was probably the most fun game I had ever played in my life. And that was back in 97. The only other game that I really remember us playing a whole lot of on that PlayStation 1 was Tekken. And again, that was the Navy guys, you know, all trying to kick each other's ass at Tekken and stuff like that, the macho thing. So Tekken was a good fighting game back then too. But yeah, it didn't have anything on Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo got so many hours. I mean, we probably wore that PlayStation 1 out with this game alone. And here's some gameplay that I found from it. But there's the sandlot I'm talking about. You knock somebody off in the dirt like that, going around the corner. You know, you'd speed up, use them to ricochet and stay on the road and knock them off in the sand. Man, they'd be pissed. But God, this game was fun. And, you know, just like a lot of games, it really took... I mean, it was a good game by itself, single player or whatever. But when you had other friends and you had other people you were playing with head-to-head, that's where the real fun happened. But... even now, I mean, this is 19 years later, the graphics still aren't too bad. But can you imagine looking at this game now and being blown away? I mean, I'm serious, people. This game blew everybody's minds. Everybody was like, their jaw was dropped when they first saw this game. When I first brought this game back to the ship, and there was a crowd of guys standing around, I mean, everybody was like, holy, you know, holy shit. They couldn't believe how good the graphics were in this game. And I'll never forget that. So I want to go ahead and ask you guys, You know, what game was it? I'm interested to know, what game was it in your entire gaming past? What game was it that blew your mind when you first played it? You know, maybe it was Skyrim. Maybe it was whatever. You know, I have no idea. You know, maybe it was Dark Souls or whatever. But what game was it when you first played it blew your mind at how good the graphics were, how awesome it was to play, and just left you just reeling for more and you couldn't get enough of it? So I'd like you guys to share that down in the comments below. Even if it's like 2 years after I make this video, please let me know what game it was that blew your mind and you know, you couldn't believe when you first put it in. Of all the games I've ever played in my life, I think this is the one game that blew my mind the most when I first saw it. Because, I mean, I'm serious. I couldn't believe how good the graphics were for the time. And if you compare the graphics on this game to other PS1 games at that time, I think you'll see why. Even though this can't compare to, you know, current generation racing games or any kind of game, actually. You know, $2 indie games have better graphics than this now. But at the time, it was mind-blowing. So let me know what you guys have to say about that. You know, is it good for a LOL or... you know, tell me what game it was in your entire past, in your entire life, that blew your mind, maybe the same way this blew my mind when I was in the Navy back, you know, when I was in my 20s. So thanks so much for watching. This has been Zaxter99. Just wanted to go ahead and share that little piece of gaming history with you guys, and see if you guys can share yours with me. I think it'll be fun. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. This has been Zaxter99. Take care, everybody.
You